Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Edgar Berlanga and Terence Crawford. Look, let's break it down honest and objectively as possible. And according to Mike Coventry, he says Canelo Alvarez might not fight on Mexican Independence Day weekend. He went on to state that Canelo could fight later in the year in Los Angeles as a tune-up fight for Terence Crawford. Now, that makes no sense to me. But then Eddie Hearn has come out recently and stated that Edgar Berlanga is likely next for Canelo Alvarez. So what I'm gathering based off Mike Coventry and Eddie Hearn is two things. Is that Canelo Alvarez, his next two potential fights could be Edgar Berlanga and Terence Crawford. Now, I'm going to be honest and unbiased about it. You know, those two fights are cherry-picked. Those two fights are trash. Neither one of those fights does anything for his legacy, his career. And at the end of the day, those are not fights that people have been asking or wanting from Canelo Alvarez. Period. That's not what people want. I can't stand by and support Canelo fighting those type of fights. I'm not going to stand by and applaud Canelo for fighting Edgar Berlanga. I won't do it. I won't stand by and applaud Canelo Alvarez fighting Terence Crawford, moving up all those weight classes. I won't do it. I mean, at the end of the day, those fights don't make sense. Only dumbasses in the sport of boxing would even want to see those fights. At this point, Canelo Alvarez doesn't have a lot of time left in his career. So every fight that Canelo Alvarez takes needs to be meaningful. And I'm telling you right now, an Edgar Berlanga fight is not really meaningful at all. You talk about a Terence Crawford fight, there's no legacy or nothing in that for Canelo. That's not meaningful at all. Moving up multiple weight classes, what does Canelo gain from that? If you're just looking to fight for money, you might as well fight Jake Paul, because none of this shit makes sense. I don't want to see either of those fights, and I won't pay for those fights. Now, I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, boxing fans have been asking for Canelo Benavidez, and I hope that we get the fight. I hope that fight is next. Benavidez needs to activate his mandatory, and Canelo Alvarez needs to pursue the fight. Both of those guys need to make this fight happen, because at the end of the day, that's the fight that boxing fans have been asking for years. That's a fight that Canelo Alvarez wins 10 times out of 10. Canelo Alvarez is simply a better fighter than David Benavidez, and that's a fight that the boxing world actually wants to see. That's a fight that people can actually get behind. That's a fight that actually makes sense. So it would be a shame and disgusting if Canelo Alvarez chose two cherry picks instead of the fight that everybody wants to see.